Starting my morning walk this morning here in Pavia, Iloilo province in the Philippines, and just gonna try to put a little comment in there and getting ready to go. Gonna hit the pavement here just in a minute. It rained last night, so everything is nice and fresh today. I'm really enjoying my morning walks here in Pavia. It just seemed like almost every morning something just calls to me, and it's just time for me to get up about 5 and get out there and start enjoying my life. I'm getting ready to run up on this guy that sells me fruit. You won't see him, but he's got a little gold van. I'll be here just in a second. Just right over there is the Tigum River, T-I-G-U-M. Morning. Morning. How are you? Washing? Yeah.
I will go there later to your house.
Oh, okay.
You still have fruit?
What are you gonna have?
Grapes, apple, pears, orange.
I love the pears.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really.
There, later.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that little guy sells me fruit. He's got that little gold van and he drives around neighborhoods. I think he's a retired cop actually, but really nice guy. He did end up coming to my house that probably an hour after I got back. Got some of the sweetest pears you'd ever tried in your whole life. They don't even resemble really or taste like a pear. They're too juicy. I put them in the refrigerator every time I get them. Man, I'm telling you what, they're great. I really enjoyed the walks because it seemed like I just keep getting healthier the whole time I'm here. I mean, my blood pressure's dropped. I'm more relaxed by far. Maybe it's the hot weather, I don't know. But man, I'm telling you what, I'm really enjoying it. We've been about 6 weeks in. Morning. That was the Pandasol guy, or a Pandasol guy. Pandasol is just a little bread, like a roll or something that's delivered every morning to your house. We got a little place here. Good morning. Little place here. It sells fish and small grocery items and a little bit of everything. They're hustlers. These sidewalks, they go up and down. If you take your eyes off of them very long, you could fall down. I was listening to one of the vloggers here, Philippines Info channel, and he made a good point. He said if you're really, well, I was gonna say old, but it doesn't matter how old you are. If you have trouble getting around, if you have trouble walking, this is kind of a hard place for you. And Philippines Info channel's got a lot of good information. I love this little town. I gotta watch all my obstacles here. A lot of these little depressions here are made for the cars, so they get the cars in and out, of course. The political signs. The politics will be over this week, I guess. I think, don't quote me, but I think May 5th is the election. So, be a lot less noise, music going around on these trucks. That's how they distribute their political ads, is by pickup trucks with big speakers on the back of them. I gotta look both ways. Morning. It's nice to be out after a rain. It's pretty humid, but still, it's gonna get a lot hotter today, and this is the best part of the day. especially the political ads. Philippines is great. That little store I just passed, there's probably an 8-year-old kid asleep on a tabletop, little blanket. Guess he slept there all night. It's just funny things you see. The signage in the Philippines is always funny, and to me, American perspective, it's kind of funny. Not funny to them, you know, but from my perspective, look outside looking in, it's mildly humorous, you know, just the way they name stuff. I hear the Catholic Church doing some kind of prayer or something. Lots of big trucks. There's the main grocery store. I don't know how to say it, what kind of grocery store it is, but it's like the main Americanized type grocery store. I went in there last night. I'm gonna have a whole video on that. It was hilarious. But I think a lot more stuff sold at the Palenque. You're gonna see the Palenque here in a minute. Palenque is just, if you don't know, it's a word for market, open air market. They sell fish and meats and vegetables, just about anything else your average Filipino will need. There's my chicken place. I've eaten there several times. You get a chicken for about $5, $5.50. It's been grilled on a spit. There's 7-Eleven. You don't see a lot of 7-Elevens back in the States anymore, but they're here. Here comes the jeepneys. Oh, wow. Looks like that one is cut vegetables. Some of the jeepneys are just for public transportation. And my sea cod guys and tricycle guys. And some of them, actually, here we go. Yeah, it's filled with people, but it's also got a lot of vegetables on top of it. So, this is the Pavia Plaza. And that's where the fiesta is going to be in a couple of days. They're getting it set up. It takes them a couple weeks. They've been working on it at least 2 weeks, probably more. Get the political stuff. And the police van. Morning.
Good morning.
Everybody likes to say good morning, which is great. Not everybody. The Ilonggos are kind of stoic, I would say, as compared to the rest of the Philippines. You know, you go different places in Pampanga, you go Dutch, I've been there a lot, and just a lot of different places. People see a camera, they want to jump in front of it. Here, a little bit shy, a little bit camera shy, which is fine. We're that way in America too. Some people, morning. Some people probably punch you if they, oh wow, if you get them on camera. Yep, they're unloading all that stuff going into the market. I try to respect people's privacy. Nobody asked me to come down here and film them. So I'm going to shut it off for a minute and I'm going to go inside the market. Morning. I have some. Thank you. Morning. 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 I'm gonna try to get across the street. Not that busy this morning. Oh, nice breeze coming along here. You can hear somebody speaking in there. I don't know what they're saying, but that's one of the oldest churches, one of the old churches in the Philippines. I think it's maybe one of the first built by the Spaniards. This is Pavia. I guess I could look it up. I should look it up, right? I'll look it up. So anyway, just everybody's out for a walk this morning. Morning. You know, you may be like me, may not be, but when you're in a hot climate, and you first, like you come out of, I slept last night in air conditioning, so it's like you come out of air conditioning into, you know, the heat, a little bit of the heat, mugginess, whatever. It was like 80 this morning, 78, 80. Morning. And you know, you first start to get hot. And I'm an American guy. I'm used to living in air conditioning. Even in the summer, it's like you go from one air conditioned place to another. You don't really break out in a full sweat. So, you know, that's kind of a challenge living in the Philippines, is the heat. And you have to learn how to adapt. And I'm in that process. But I find that if I'll get out and take a walk in the morning, it doesn't feel too bad. You know, especially when you first get out and then you walk around. I stopped a while ago and there's like 7, 8, 9 old guys sitting around this little coffee shop. And I've been meaning to stop in there. I see them there on my walks. And I kind of always wanted to stop and, you know, see what they're up to. But, you know, there's a language barrier. And so I'm like, I don't know, man, you know, I can't speak the language. So I thought, nah, one of these days I'm just going to walk up there. Well, that was today. I just walked up there, and as usual, when you try something that you're a little bit afraid of or concerned about, usually it ends up a lot better than what you thought it was going to. And so I walked up there, and immediately there's one guy, pretty well off dude, you could tell by Filipino standards, and he spoke English. So, you know, I was able to talk and have a conversation with this guy. He traveled all over America. He had spent a month. He's got a tourist visa, so you know I'm on my way back. You know he's a wealthy Filipino, considered wealthy here. Because, well, if you're Filipino and you go to the U.S., then you got to have some resources. You got to own some property. You got to own some land. And so he was able to, he was able to be a tourist, okay? So he knows quite a bit of English. We communicated very well. His name was Larry. And I sat there and had a cup of coffee. And that's my first time that I actually sat down with a bunch of guys like that. And I came into town by myself. My wife's always been kind of concerned, you know, she don't want me to go in. Just take one of your nephews or nieces or something into town. But I kind of like to go by myself sometimes, you know, because, I don't know, I'm a guy that I've built 3 businesses in my life in the last 20 years and sold them and had a lot of employees, and I'm just not one to sit around the house all the time. I mean, but you know, there's a certain apprehension. I get that from her. I mean, what if something would happen to me? But you can see this little town is actually safer than any town I've lived in the United States, I think. So I'll give you an example. I came into town last night. Morning. And I took one of those little bikes like that. I'm back in the neighborhood. And I rode into town to the Pure Gold grocery store. Well, I've been walking back and forth quite a bit, sometimes with somebody accompanying me, sometimes not. And sorry if my speech is, I got to look around and I've got to pay attention to what's going on. So sometimes I'll stop mid-sentence. But anyway, so I came into town. I needed some San Miguel Light beer. And I just get tired of sending people to go get me stuff. I don't feel like, you know, they got other stuff to do. Let them do their stuff. I'll do mine. So I hopped on a C-Cod and came in to town last night. Got out. Of course, you know, I'm riding down this street riding down this street and sitting in that little basket of a sidecar. And there's like a lot of people look at me because, I mean, my skin color's white. That's unusual here. You stand out, let's put it that way. And they all look and smile, and some of them wave, you know. So it was kind of fun. But then I went in, and that's a whole nother story, but I come out, and this tricycle, or C-Cod driver, they call the little bicycles with the sidecar, they call them C-Cod. Morning. And the motorcycles with a sidecar, they call a tricycle. So anyway, I come outside, I was gonna grab another C-Cod and go back home because it was dark. I walk out and they all line up. They have to take turns. The guy in the front of the line gets the guy next person, you know. So anyway, see my neighbor across the road over there. So anyway, I go to the front of the C-Cod line, and the guy jumps up. Well, he mentioned, "Are you from such and such neighborhood?" I said, "Yeah." "Morning, guys." Mainit, diba? It's gonna be hot today. So anyway, he jumps up and he mentions my subdivision. He knew me. He'd seen me. He knew where I lived. You know, just for some random guy driving a C-Cod to know who you are. You know, it's small town life here. I don't even know the population here. Iloilo's like 500,000, so it's a major town as far as I'm concerned. I've never really lived in a huge city, but it's a nice place. You see that lady over there? She's sweeping up. That's very common. People sweeping. You got these little brooms. They call them the walis. And yeah, they got a broom. It's called a walis. I need to bring my phone stick so I can hold it a little bit farther away. There's a guy carrying a rooster in front of me. Sorry. Anyway, they got these little brooms they call walis, and it's just basically little tiny sticks all wrapped together. You can sweep outside, you can sweep inside, I guess. It's a rough surface. Yeah, pretty utilitarian, you know, and they're cheap. So that's just about it on my morning walk. I've enjoyed it. I was talking about working up a good sweat. You work up a little bit of a good sweat, and then when you get back home, you can tolerate the heat a little better. Another thing I try to do, I try to take about 3 showers a day, sometimes 4. For a big old guy like me, I mean, I'm not that tall, but got too much weight on me okay, let's just say I sweat a lot for a fat guy. So anyway, so yeah, 3 to 4 showers a day helps a lot. Anyway, that's about all I got for now. Catch you later. Okay, so I'm gonna add a little clip on this video. This is coming up close to my house. I don't live in a rich neighborhood. Nice people here. Good people, low crime. I don't know if there is any crime, probably is. If there is, I don't know anything about it. But, you know, there's some nice places here. This is our house. We built that, it took us about 3 years to build it. It's on 120 square meters. I just kind of guess that it cost me maybe 3.5 million pesos, which is about, I don't know, $60,000, $70,000. Morning. It's just kind of like the jungle's almost taken over out here. But yeah, this is our place. That's my first initial to my last name. There's lazy Filipino dogs. So anyway, have a great day.